Autodesk Inventor, working with drawings, basic dimensions. All right, in this one I am going to do a drawing, and if I click on new, it will go to drawing. But I don't want to set up a new drawing. I want to use a border that I already have. So I'm going to close down this dialog box. I'm going to go to open, and I'm going to go to this border that I have set up already and click open. Now, the easiest way to do this is I can keep this border for other drawings and I just save it as border. Each time I do this, I want to make sure I do a file save as to make sure that I still keep my border kind of in good shape here. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to go in and I can place my different views in here. That's where it's dumped me in as place views. And where I want to start is with a base view. On the base view, I need to go and find the part that I want to make the drawing of. So I'm going to click on the icon here to go browse for it. And what I want to work on is this kind of a brick shape. I'm going to click on open that brick up. And I want to look at this dialog window that's come up here. It's showing me the path for the part that I've got. It's also telling me that what I'm putting in right now is the master view. And then there's some style options that I have here. I have this first one that shows me hidden lines. The next one that says remove the hidden lines. And then the other one I apply to the first two, which is with shading. If it's a standard industrial type drawing, I'm either going to do the drawing with dimensions with the hidden lines or without the hidden lines, but I do not shade unless I'm putting it in an isometric view. All right, let me unwrap that a little bit more for you. So I'm going to go with the hidden lines, and so I've got it started here. If the part is not on the screen where I want it to get an orthographic view, I can move it to where I want it. So I can say that will be my front view, this will be my right side view, and this will be my top view. When I'm done and I'm satisfied with those, I can click OK. I've got 3 different views. These are the 3 standard views that we learn about in our blueprint reading class. All right, now what I want to do is go in here and do some dimensioning for where these different lines are at. With that, I'm going to move over to the annotation ribbon. With the annotation ribbon, I have where I can put on an individual single dimension one at a time, where I go from this point to this point, and I can pull that dimension out. Now, if you notice, the dimensions kind of stop. Those are the built-in stopping points and gaps that are set up inside of Inventor. I'll show you where those are at. So you can see it stopped me there, it stopped me there. So I can go in there and place those in. So I can place an individual dimension like that in. That means that everything I go to dimension, I have to do them one at a time. I'm going to right-click on this. I'm going to tell it to delete that dimension. What I'd like is to be able to do dimensions where it gives me a little bit more options for being able to automatically put those dimensions in. If I go up here, I have a baseline dimension. I don't want to use baseline dimension. I want to click on the down arrow and I want to go to baseline set. I want to do it as a set. That way they edit together and they hold the same formatting together. So here's how I do that. I come across the bottom, I click the first line that I want to start at, next line, and so on all the way across the part till everything's been selected. I go, great, it did nothing for me. Here's the secret. When you are doing drawings, don't be afraid to right-click your mouse to see what the options are. And it says, what do you want to do? I want to continue with doing the dimensions. And there we go, there are the dimensions. And I set them in position. I still need to left mouse click to set those in place. I'm still in that baseline line set that is attached to all these dimensions. I need to right click and tell it to create those dimensions. Now I'm done. Okay, I'm going to go through that one more time real quick. I'm going to highlight them here, erase those dimensions. What did I do? I made sure I was on baseline set. I go in and I click each line that I want to dimension to. And then right click, continue, place them, right click to create them. Guess what a lot of people forget to do, and they get frustrated. They forget to right click to get it to continue, and they forget to right click to create them. All right, so now the next one, this is just a simple dimension, so I can go from here to here, and that's all there is to that dimension right here. So I'm going to get it to a set point there. Can I do it in between those points? Absolutely, it's no problem. So now I click on right click and tell it, okay, I'm done with those dimensions. Now that I'm done with this dimension, I can actually move this around a little bit. I can even move it on this top side. I can move where I'm set here so that I can change where my dimension is setting, and it's not cooperating with me, so I'm just going to leave it alone. But there's ways that I can go in there and do that. Dimension here, I can go from this one, I can do a baseline set. Here we go. Click, click, right click, continue, set it in place, right click to create, and throw a dimension on there. Right now what I'm doing on this part is what we would refer to as over dimensioning, right? So I can click that in place, go OK, and I can grab this dimension and make it so they don't crash. All right, let me do this one here. I'm going to do this one just a little bit different. I'm going to do an overall length on this and be able to say, there we go on that one, and then take this one here, and it wants a little more information for what's going on. Okay, set that one in place, right click, OK. On these boxes, I can go in and dimension these and illustrate that the distance across here is 3/8 of an inch, 0.375, and I can come over and click another box and bring that over so that we can see what it is. That might be helpful. Okay, showing you a lot with dimensions there. Here's an important thing to realize. Do you see that all these dimensions are going out to 3 places? The reason for that is our drawing standards is plus or minus 5/1000ths of an inch. That is 0.005. Whatever my tolerance is my decimals need to match up to that tolerance. Well, when you start drawing, you're going to find out yours don't match. So what I'm going to do is go up here to the Manage tab, and I want to go to Style Editor. On the Style Editor, I'm under the default ANSI dimensions, and I can select what my precision is, and I am selecting that it goes out 3 places. I'm using decimals. There's other options that I can use there. I'm doing decimals on this one. Alternative dimensions, I could go in there and do some work on that. And then on display, this is what we just leave this alone. There's no reason to change it. Those points at where the dimensions get that dashed line in that is based on this gap right here. So this information is what is determining that. You could go in and adjust it if you want. There's really no reason to. Inventor does what we call annotative dimensioning. That means that if I change the size of the part or the scale of the part, the dimensions stay the same font size. So here we go. I can go up to text, and what I want to do is on this vertical dimension right here, you want to select this middle option here. If you don't do that, you're going to run out of space on some of our drawings later. We can show again where's our tolerance, and here I can show and say, well, we're going out 3 places, and then there's optional callouts. I've pretty much given you guys everything we need to do to get going here. Okay, I'm going to tell it save and close. So there's our basic drawing of that bar. Okay.